Now that we've shattered the myth of permanent shyness, let's build something magnificent in its place. Let's build emotional intelligence, the real foundation of confident, authentic social interaction. Emotional intelligence is often misunderstood. It's not about being emotional. It's not about being soft or touchy-feely. Emotional intelligence is about being smart with emotions, yours and others. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between being controlled by your emotions and being in partnership with them. There are 4 pillars of emotional intelligence, and today we're going to build each one. Pillar 1, self-awareness. This is your ability to recognize what you're feeling as you're feeling it. Most people who struggle with social anxiety have a gap here. They know they feel bad or anxious, but they can't name this specific emotion. And they certainly don't understand what's triggering it. Let me give you a practical tool, the emotion wheel. I want you to Google it and print it out. At the center are basic emotions: mad, sad, glad, scared, surprised, disgusted. As you move outward, these become more nuanced. Mad becomes frustrated, annoyed, irritated, furious. Sad becomes disappointed, lonely, hopeless, grief-stricken. Glad becomes content, joyful, proud, optimistic. Scared becomes anxious, worried, terrified, overwhelmed. Your practice. 3 times a day, check in with yourself. Look at the emotion wheel. Ask, what am I feeling right now? Try to get specific. Instead of anxious, maybe you're apprehensive about an upcoming conversation. Instead of bad, maybe you're disappointed about a missed connection. This practice of precise emotional identification is transformative. When you can name it, you can work with it. Pillar 2, self-regulation. This is your ability to manage your emotional state. It's not about suppressing emotions. That's what got us into trouble in the first place. It's about having a toolkit to navigate intense emotions skillfully. Here's your toolkit: the pause. When you feel overwhelmed socially, create a literal pause. Excuse yourself to the bathroom. Take a sip of water. Adjust your posture. This creates space between trigger and response. Breathing anchors. Your breath is your direct line to your nervous system. Practice box breathing. Inhale for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Hold for 4. Do this 3 times. It signals safety to your brain. Grounding techniques. When your mind is racing with what-if scenarios, ground yourself in the present. Notice 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, 1 thing you can taste. Reframing. This is cognitive restructuring. When you think, everyone will judge me, ask, is that true? Is it really everyone? What evidence do I have? Then reframe. Some people might have opinions, and that's okay. My worth isn't determined by others' opinions. Pillar 3, social awareness. This is your ability to read the room, to understand what others might be feeling. Ironically, many shy people are actually highly socially aware. They're just misinterpreting the data. They notice subtle cues, but interpret them as judgment or rejection, when they might simply be neutral or even positive. Practice active observation. In social situations, instead of getting trapped in your own head, become curious about others. Notice body language. Notice tone of voice. Notice who's engaged and who's withdrawn. And here's the key. Don't assume you know what it means. Instead, get curious. If someone seems disengaged, maybe they're tired or thinking about something else, or actually deeply interested but quiet. Your interpretations are often projections of your own insecurities. Pillar 4, relationship management. This is your ability to navigate interactions skillfully. It's where all the other pillars come together. It's about asserting needs while respecting others. It's about handling conflict constructively. It's about building genuine connection. Let's start with micro-connections. Your assignment this week is to practice what I call connection moments. These are small, low-pressure opportunities to connect. Make genuine eye contact and smile. Give a specific compliment. I really appreciated how you handled that situation. Ask an open-ended question. What was the highlight of your week? Share something appropriate and authentic. I was nervous about this event, but I'm really glad I came. Each of these moments builds what psychologists call social self-efficacy, the belief that you can handle social situations successfully. And each success, no matter how small, reinforces this belief. Now, let's address a crucial misunderstanding. Many people think that developing social skills means becoming someone they're not. Nothing could be further from the truth. Authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to realness. The goal isn't to become the loudest person in the room. The goal is to become the most present, authentic version of yourself in the room. This week, I want you to experiment with what I call progressive authenticity. Start small. Share a little more of your genuine thoughts than you normally would. Express a slightly more genuine emotion. Be a bit more present. Notice what happens. Notice that the world doesn't end. Notice that people often respond positively to authenticity. Remember, emotional intelligence is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. You're not trying to achieve perfection. You're practicing progress. Some days you'll feel more socially fluent than others. That's normal. That's human. The goal isn't to never feel nervous again. The goal is to develop the skills to navigate the nervousness, to be with it, to learn from it, and to still show up authentically. You're building a new foundation, brick by brick, conversation by conversation, moment by moment. And with each brick, you're creating a stronger, more resilient, more authentic you. Today I want to introduce you to a truth that might change your self-perception forever. You are not shy. That label, that identity you've been carrying like a permanent scar, it's not your truth. It's a story written by experiences, reinforced by your environment, and accepted as destiny. But stories can be rewritten, and today we begin that rewriting process. Let me be absolutely clear. What you've been calling shyness is not a personality trait. It's not a life sentence. It's a collection of learned behaviors, protective mechanisms, and communication patterns that you developed because at some point in your life, they served you. They kept you safe. They protected you from rejection, from embarrassment, from judgment. But what once protected you is now imprisoning you. The walls you built for safety have become the barriers that isolate you. Think back to your earliest memories of feeling shy. Was there a specific moment? A particular comment from a teacher? A childhood experience where you spoke up and felt dismissed? These moments create neural pathways in your brain that say, speaking up equals danger. Visibility equals risk. Silence equals safety. But here's what nobody tells you about these pathways. They're not permanent. Your brain has this miraculous quality called neuroplasticity, the ability to rewire itself based on new experiences. Every time you challenge the shy response, you're literally rewiring your brain. The journey from self-perceived shyness to authentic expression begins with understanding what you're actually dealing with. You're not dealing with a character flaw. You're dealing with emotional intelligence gaps. You're dealing with unprocessed social experiences. You're dealing with a nervous system that has learned to associate social situations with threat. And all of these things are learnable, changeable, transformable. Let's break down what actually happens when you feel shy. There's typically a trigger. Maybe it's entering a room full of people, or being called upon to speak, or wanting to join a conversation. Then comes the physiological response. Increased heart rate, sweating, tense muscles, shallow breathing. Next comes the mental chatter. What if I say something stupid? Everyone will judge me. I don't belong here. Finally comes the behavioral response. Avoidance, silence, withdrawing, over-preparing, or forcing yourself through it with immense discomfort. What if I told you that every single part of this cycle is manageable? That you can learn to calm your physiology, quiet your mental chatter, and change your behavioral patterns? This isn't theoretical. It's practical, learnable skills. The foundation of all transformation is awareness. Before we can change anything, we must see it clearly. So this week, I want you to become an observer of your own experience. When you feel that familiar shy response coming on, I want you to pause and ask yourself 3 questions. What am I feeling in my body right now? Is my heart racing? Are my palms sweaty? Is my breath shallow? What thoughts are running through my mind? Am I predicting rejection? Am I comparing myself? Am I assuming judgment? What am I most afraid will happen? Be specific, not just embarrassment, but what exactly do you fear? This practice of observation creates what psychologists call psychological distance. It creates space between you and the experience. Instead of being consumed by shyness, you're observing shyness. This shift, from being the experience to witnessing the experience, is the first and most crucial step toward freedom. Now, let's talk about identity. When you say, I am shy, you're making a statement about who you are at your core. But what if instead you said, I sometimes feel hesitant in social situations, or I'm developing my social confidence? The language we use creates our reality. Every time you label yourself as shy, you reinforce that identity. Every time you describe your experience without labeling your being, you create room for change. I want to introduce you to a powerful concept: the growth mindset versus the fixed mindset. The fixed mindset says, I am shy. This is just how I am. I can't change it. The growth mindset says, I'm learning to navigate social situations with more confidence. I'm developing my communication skills. I'm growing in this area. One mindset keeps you stuck. The other sets you free. Your assignment for this week is simple but profound. Every time you catch yourself thinking or saying, I am shy, gently correct yourself. Instead say, I'm learning to be more socially confident, or I'm developing my communication skills. Practice the 3-question observation exercise at least once daily. Have one small, low-stakes social interaction where you consciously practice being present rather than perfect. This could be as simple as making eye contact and smiling at a cashier, or asking a colleague one genuine question about their day. Remember this: the person you believe yourself to be, the shy person, is not your truth. It's a version of you that learned certain protective strategies. Underneath that protective layer is your authentic self, someone who has thoughts worth sharing, perspectives worth hearing, and a presence worth experiencing. The journey of 1,000 conversations begins with a single sentence. The path from perceived shyness to authentic expression begins with a single choice to see yourself differently. You are not shy. You are learning. You are growing. You are becoming. And this is just the beginning. Now that we've built our emotional intelligence foundation, let's develop the specific skills that will transform how you move through the social world. This is where theory meets practice, where understanding becomes action, where potential becomes reality. Let's start with what I consider the most important social skill: presence. Presence isn't about doing anything special. It's about being fully here, fully now, fully available to the current moment and the person in front of you. When you're truly present, something magical happens. You forget to be self-conscious. Your attention shifts from, how am I coming across, to, what's happening here? What's this person experiencing? Here's how to cultivate presence. Arrive early. Give yourself time to arrive physically, mentally, and emotionally. Don't rush from one thing into a social situation. Check in. Before entering any social space, take 60 seconds to check in with yourself. How are you feeling? What's your intention for this interaction? Single task. When you're talking with someone, really talk with them. Don't think about what you'll say next. Don't scan the room. Be with that person. Notice details. Pay attention to small things. The color of their eyes, the way they gesture when they speak, the specific words they choose. Presence transforms social interactions from performances to connections. And people feel the difference. They feel seen, heard, valued. And when people feel that way around you, they're naturally drawn to you. Now let's talk about conversation skills. So many people fear conversations because they think they need to be brilliant or entertaining. You don't. You just need to be genuinely interested. The art of conversation rests on 3 simple principles. Ask better questions. Move beyond. What do you do? And where are you from? Try questions that invite stories. What's something you're excited about right now? What's been the highlight of your month so far? What's a lesson you've learned recently? Practice deep listening. Most people listen to respond. You'll listen to understand? Listen for content, yes, but also listen for emotion, for values, for what matters to them. And reflect back what you hear. It sounds like you're really passionate about, or I can hear how important this is to you. Share appropriately. Vulnerability builds connection, but it needs to be proportionate. The vulnerability pyramid. Start with surface level, interests, opinions, move to experiences, stories, lessons learned, and only then to deeper layers, fears, hopes, values. Match the other person's level of sharing. Let's address a specific fear, starting conversations. The opener doesn't need to be clever. It just needs to be genuine. Some effective openers. Comment on something shared. This is quite a turnout, isn't it? Ask for an opinion. What did you think of the presentation? Make a simple observation. I love the energy in this room. Be honest. I don't think we've met. I'm name. The goal isn't to impress. The goal is to connect. Now, what about group conversations? This is where many people feel most anxious. Here's a framework. Listen first. Don't feel pressure to contribute immediately. Listen to understand the topic, the dynamics, the tone. Build on. When you do speak, build on what someone else said. I really agree with what name said about. Or adding to that point. Bridge. If you have something different to contribute, bridge. That's interesting. It reminds me of, or shifting gears slightly. Include others. Notice if someone hasn't spoken and gently include them. Name. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Handling awkward moments. They happen to everyone. The key isn't avoiding them. It's navigating them gracefully. If there's a silence, it's okay. You can acknowledge it. I'm enjoying this quiet moment, or ask a question. If you say something and it doesn't land, you can smile and say, well, that came out differently than I intended, and move on. Awkwardness only becomes truly awkward when we panic about it. Body language mastery. Your body speaks before you do. Here are the essentials. Posture. Stand or sit tall. Your body position affects your mindset. Eye contact. Aim for 60 to 70% eye contact. It's a dance. Look away naturally and return, smiling. A genuine smile reaches your eyes. It's welcoming. Gestures. Use natural gestures to emphasize points. Avoid closed body language, crossed arms, turned away. Voice. Speak clearly. Pace yourself. Vary your tone. Practice this. Record yourself speaking for 1 minute about something you care about. Watch it back. Notice your body language. Adjust what doesn't feel authentic. the skill of exiting conversations gracefully. This is as important as starting them. Some graceful exits. It's been wonderful talking with you. I should probably mingle a bit more. I've really enjoyed our conversation. Let's continue this another time. I need to refresh my drink. Say hello to someone. It was great meeting you. Always end with appreciation and warmth. Now, let's talk about practice. Skills aren't built through reading or thinking. They're built through doing. Your assignment: daily micro practices. Each day, do one small thing that stretches you slightly. Compliment a stranger. Ask a question. Share an opinion. Weekly challenges. Each week, take on one slightly bigger challenge. Attend a networking event. Join a club. Initiate a conversation with someone you admire. Reflection. After social interactions, reflect. What went well? What would you do differently next time? Be kind in your reflection. Role play. Practice challenging scenarios with a friend or even in front of a mirror. Remember, every master was once a beginner. Every confident speaker once felt nervous. Every socially skilled person once fumbled through conversations. They didn't achieve mastery by avoiding situations. They achieved it by showing up again and again, imperfectly but persistently. You're not trying to become perfect. You're trying to become proficient. You're developing a toolkit. Some tools you'll use often, others less frequently. But having the tools means you can handle whatever social situation arises. Social skills are like a language. At first, you're translating in your head. It feels awkward, slow, unnatural. But with practice, you start thinking in the language. It becomes fluid, natural, effortless. That's where we're heading. That fluency, that ease. You're learning a new way of being in social spaces. Not as a performer, but as a participant. Not as someone trying to impress, but as someone seeking to connect. Not as someone hiding, but as someone showing up. And with each conversation, each interaction, each moment of genuine connection, you're rewriting your story. From I am shy to I am learning. From I am anxious to I am growing. From I am hesitant to I am becoming. The skills are learnable. The transformation is possible. The person you're becoming is waiting to emerge. And it all happens one conversation at a time. We've come to our final part, the integration. This is where we bring everything together, where skills become habits, where practice becomes nature, where the person you've been becoming emerges as who you are. Integration isn't about adding more. It's about embodying what you've learned. It's about moving from conscious competence to unconscious competence. It's about making your new way of being your default way of being. Let's start with mindset. Your mindset is the lens through which you view social interactions. We're shifting from a threat mindset to a growth mindset. From this is dangerous to this is an opportunity. From I might fail to I might learn. Your new mindset statements. Every social interaction is practice. My worth isn't determined by any single interaction. I'm learning and growing with each conversation. My authenticity is my greatest asset. Connection is more important than perfection. Post these where you'll see them daily. Say them out loud. Internalize them. Now, let's talk about daily rituals. Transformation happens in the daily practice, not just in the big moments. Your daily integration practice. Morning, 5 minutes. Check in. How am I feeling today? Set intention. How do I want to show up socially today? Visualize. See yourself navigating your day with calm, authentic confidence. Evening, 5 minutes. Reflect. What went well today? What did I learn? Appreciate. What am I grateful for in my social growth? Plan. What's one small step I'll take tomorrow? These rituals keep you connected to your growth journey. They prevent autopilot. They maintain awareness, not the confidence cycle. Confidence isn't something you have and then act from. It's something you build through action. The cycle looks like this. Take a small, courageous action. Speak up, initiate. Share. Notice that you survived and often thrived. Your brain registers. I can do this. Your confidence grows slightly. You're more likely to take the next courageous action. Your job is to keep this cycle going. Small actions, repeated consistently, build unstoppable momentum. Handling setbacks. You will have days where you feel less confident. You'll have interactions that don't go as planned. This isn't failure. It's data. When you have a challenging social experience, be compassionate with yourself. Get curious. What happened? What can I learn? Extract the lesson, let go of the rest. Try. Again, progress isn't linear. It's a spiral. Sometimes you'll feel like you're back at the beginning, but you're actually at a new level of the same lesson. Trust the process. Building social resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back, to handle rejection, awkwardness, misunderstandings, to not let one difficult interaction ruin your week. Build resilience through diverse social experiences, multiple social circles, regular practice, outside your comfort zone, self-compassion perspective. In the grand scheme, most social interactions are small moments. Authenticity as your compass. As you develop social skills, you might worry about becoming fake or performative. Authenticity is your safeguard. Regularly check in. Am I saying this because it's true to me, or because I think it's what I should say? Am I acting in alignment with my values? Authenticity isn't about sharing everything with everyone. It's about being real within appropriate boundaries. Your evolving identity. You're not just changing behaviors. You're evolving your identity. You're moving from I am shy, gives. I am socially conscious. I am anxious, gives. I am aware and growing. I am hesitant, gives. I am thoughtful and intentional. I avoid social situations, gives. I choose meaningful connection. This identity evolution is the most profound change. It's not just about acting differently. It's about being different. Seeing yourself differently. Creating your support system. Growth happens better with support. Build your team. Find a practice partner. Join a group with similar growth goals. Share your journey with supportive friends. Consider a coach or mentor. Read books. Listen to podcasts. Join communities. You don't have to do this alone. In fact, doing it with others makes it richer, deeper, more meaningful. Long-term vision? Where is this all leading? What's the ultimate vision? It's not about becoming the most extroverted person in every room. It's about feeling at home in your own skin in any social situation, expressing yourself authentically and appropriately, building meaningful connections, contributing your unique perspective, enjoying the richness of human interaction, having the skills to handle whatever social situation arises. This is your birthright. This is available to you, not in some distant future, but step by step. Starting now. Your integration assignment. Daily. One small courageous social action weekly. One bigger stretch experience monthly. Review your progress. Celebrate growth. Adjust course quarterly. Set new social growth goals. Final truths to carry with you. You are enough. Right now, as you are. Your growth is about expression, not about fixing something broken. Everyone is navigating their own inner world. The person who seems perfectly confident has their own struggles, their own insecurities, their own growth edges. Progress over perfection. Aim for 1% better each day. That compounds into transformation. Joy in the journey. Social growth isn't just about overcoming anxiety. It's about discovering the joy of connection, the pleasure of shared understanding, The beauty of human interaction. You are always becoming. There's no final destination. There's only continuous growth, continuous learning, continuous evolution. You began this journey believing you were shy. You're ending it knowing you're so much more. You're socially intelligent. You're emotionally aware. You're connection capable. You're growth oriented. You're authentic. You're becoming. This isn't the end of your journey. It's the beginning of a new way of living. A way where you show up fully, where you speak your truth, where you connect deeply, where you contribute meaningfully. The world needs what you have to offer. Your perspective matters. Your voice matters. Your presence matters. Not in spite of your journey, but because of it. Your sensitivity, your awareness, your thoughtfulness, these aren't liabilities. They're gifts. Gifts that make your connections deeper, your contributions more meaningful, your presence more impactful. Go forward with this knowing. You are not shy. Something profound has already begun to shift within you. You've moved from believing I am shy to knowing I am capable. You've transitioned from avoiding social situations to understanding them. You've transformed from being controlled by emotions to partnering with them. But this final part isn't about more techniques or strategies. This is about something deeper. This is about legacy, the legacy you create through how you show up in the world every single day. Let me ask you a question that might sound unusual. What if your shyness was never a problem to solve, but actually a gift in disguise? What if that sensitivity, that tendency to observe before speaking, that awareness of others' emotions, what if these weren't weaknesses, but actually your greatest strengths, simply misunderstood and misdirected? This is the paradigm shift we're making now. We're not fixing you. We're channeling your innate qualities in powerful, intentional directions. The person who once felt overwhelmed in social situations is becoming the person who creates safe spaces for others. The one who once hesitated to speak is becoming the one who speaks with thoughtful precision. The one who once feared judgment is becoming the one who offers genuine acceptance. The 4 pillars of your legacy. The pillar of presency. You've learned to be present. Now you become someone who creates presence for others. When you walk into a room, you're not just entering a space. You're bringing a quality of attention that makes others feel seen. Your presence becomes a gift you offer. People will start saying, "There's something about you when I talk to you. I feel truly heard." This isn't a technique you're performing. This is who you've become. The pillar of authentic connection. You've moved from transactional interactions to transformational connections. You're no longer counting how many people you talk to at an event. You're noticing how deeply you connected with even one person. You understand that one meaningful conversation can change someone's day, maybe even their life. And you have the skills to create those conversations consistently. The pillar of emotional leadership. This is where your journey truly becomes about legacy. Emotional leadership isn't about having a title or position. It's about the influence you have through your emotional intelligence. You become the person others come to when they need perspective. You become the calming presence in stressful situations. You become the one who can navigate conflict with grace. You're not just managing your own emotions anymore. You're creating emotional safety for those around you. The pillar of continuous growth mastery isn't a destination. It's a direction. You've developed what psychologists call a growth mindset in the social-emotional domain. You see every interaction as an opportunity to learn. Every awkward moment becomes data, not defeat. Every successful connection becomes both a joy and a lesson in what works, your new identity. The integrated self. You're no longer the shy person working on social skills. You're now the socially intelligent person who continues to grow. You're not overcoming anxiety. You're living with courageous authenticity. You're not learning to communicate. You're continuously refining your authentic expression. This identity shift is everything. When your self-concept changes, your behavior changes naturally, effortlessly. You're not forcing yourself to act confident. You're acting from confidence because that's who you are. The ripple effect. Here's the beautiful truth about your transformation. It doesn't just affect you. It creates ripples. When you become more emotionally intelligent, more socially skilled, more authentically confident, you change the dynamics of every room you enter, every conversation you have, every relationship you're in. Your family notices. Your colleagues notice. Your friends notice. But more importantly, you give them permission to grow too. Your transformation becomes an invitation. Without saying a word, you're showing others what's possible. You're demonstrating that change is possible, that growth is possible, that moving from fear to freedom is possible, living your masteries. So what does daily life look like now? It looks like waking up and checking in with yourself, not from a place of what's wrong that I need to fix, but from how am I today and how do I want to show up in the world? Entering social situations not with anxiety, but with curiosity. Who will I meet? What will I learn? How can I contribute? Having difficult conversations not with dread, but with the understanding. This is an opportunity for clarity and connection. Feeling nervous before speaking and thinking not, I shouldn't be nervous, but this matters to me, and I'm going to speak anyway. Making mistakes in social situations and thinking not, I failed, but I learned. Seeing someone else struggle socially and offering not judgment, but understanding and inclusion. Your eternal practice there will be days when old patterns try to reassert themselves. There will be moments when you feel that familiar social anxiety. This isn't failure. This is human. Mastery isn't about never feeling the old feelings. It's about knowing exactly what to do when they arise. Your practice now is maintenance and evolution. It's like maintaining physical fitness. You don't stop exercising once you reach your goal weight. You develop a sustainable practice that keeps you healthy for life. Your emotional and social fitness is the same, the ultimate truth. Here's what I want you to carry forward from this entire journey. You were never broken. You were never deficient. You were never less than. You were a masterpiece in progress. You were a learner. You were growing God, and now you're becoming a master not of perfection, but of authentic human connection. You have the tools. You have the understanding. You have the practice. Most importantly, you have the evidence, your own experience of growth and transformation. Your final assignment for the rest of your life. I want you to do one thing. Be intentionally human. Show up. Connect. Listen. Speak your truth. Feel your feelings. Make mistakes. Learn. Grow. Help others do the same. That's the legacy. That's the mastery. That's the life of authentic confidence and connection. You started this journey believing you were shy. You're ending it knowing you're whole, capable, and continually becoming. The world needs exactly who you're becoming. Go be that person.